Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Modern Skyblocks 2. So, if you guys didn't see the video that I posted yesterday, I was able to fix a lot of the performance issues that I was having towards the end of last episode by removing better placement. So there is a video talking about that, really short, like 2.5 minutes. Also, for our server, we updated Tinker Skyblocks to, I can't remember the exact version number, but it's like 0.03. It was on 0.02. So we updated it, and now we can craft hoppers. So we did fix that on our server. So if you're having issues with that, you just need to update the Tinker Skyblock mod, and then the wooden hoppers are actually craftable, and then from that, of course, the hoppers are craftable. So just a heads up. And then I've been really busy since last episode. I have been working on finishing out a lot of the basement, as well as doing a little bit of work outside, as you can see. We'll get out there in just a second. I did finish making all of these drawers. So we are filled out all the way through, and most everything is sorted now. I have 2 chests here that are kind of a mix match of like some tools. Got a little bit of a lag spike there, but I've got a mix of some tools and then just some junk. This is just overstock glass that accidentally I was messing with this system over here, and some glass got into it and whatnot. Item ducts are still not pulling out of this. I don't know what that issue is. Oh, I forgot to add. I'll have to add that in just a second. But I have went through and added ceilings in most of the areas. I have to do some chisels and bits right here. But all I have to do is just remove some layers and add, you know, the blocks with the ceiling there. Yeah, this is done. I'm going to go ahead and grab this stuff out. Over here, since the 2.5 update, they removed red orchids and ender lilies. So I did remove that setup, and I replaced it with inferium furnaces, since we don't have those seeds in there anymore. And then over here, I made a few new machines. First up, I added a squeezer over here that just does, you know, seed oil for making our impregnated sticks. And then I also made, just for the sake of it, I made an electric furnace and a grinder. The grinder was actually somewhat expensive because it required the diamond grinding heads aren't too bad, since they craft 2 at a time. Quartz grindstone, pretty cheap. But then the basic machine frame requires refined iron plates, iron casing, sturdy casing, wood casing, like all these different casings that you have to make. A little bit expensive, but not terrible. Then I also got our crusher moved over here, and I just put a quick dropper above it. I noticed that you can't seem to pump in items into the quick dropper, at least with hopper ducts. I tried it with hopper ducts, and I couldn't get them to pump in. They would reach the hopper duct that touches the quick dropper, and they would just get stuck right there. So, I don't know. I haven't tried with other conduits. Of course, the majority of the item transfer system in this pack does not seem to work for us. It'll work for, like, periods of time, but then it'll just stop. Over here, I have basically a setup for a tank. Now, I can't actually do this yet because we can't make the tank controller until we get a bucket. So, but I wanted this kind of cleaned up, and this room... I was really working on cleaning up this basement a lot between episodes. And then if we pop out here, I worked on this a bit, just kind of cleaning up the entryway. I've got to do some plants and stuff that are going to sit out here, and then I started coming up here a little bit. So I haven't got much built there yet. And then over here, and I also spent some time. Let me set it to day. I spent some time working on the bridge, kind of coming out towards spawn. So it's like 1,000 blocks, so it is taking a while to build that out. But I will say what we're going to be doing today will help a bit with just making that a little bit easier. And then over here we kind of have like a botanical gardens type thing I've been working on. So right here we have our pure daisies, 2 of those set up. And then over here, this is going to be where our jaded amaranthus sits. And it's actually going to sit underneath this tree. I decided I want like a tree there, and the jaded amaranthus stuck beneath the tree. And then over here, I got another mana spreader. I haven't made any more endo flames because honestly, these cap out. Like 4 of them is about the most you're going to run on a spreader before it starts kind of wasting a little bit of mana. And then I've got that feeding into a mana splitter, which is very easy to craft, just 6 living rock and then 2 mana steel. And then it feeds into these 3 pools, and these are going to be our mana pool crafting. This is our alchemy catalyst, and then we'll have a conjuration catalyst under this one. Of course, a lot of this stuff is just temporary while it's manual, while we're in the manual phase, and then I'll probably do another setup for automated. And then all the rest of this is pretty well straightforward. I did plant some fluffy puff right there, so we have it if we need it. And I got all 4 of the two high flowers and just set them up right here. So, but that's the majority of what I've been working on. Just a lot of stuff like that, a lot of sorting, a lot of crafting chests, which is terrible in this version because it requires a dirt chest. And so that's 8 dirt, and then 8 wood, and then drawer parts. So, but as far as resources go, we have tons of stuff. We have 216 Chaos Essence. Most of these gems, we have 300 and 400 of them. Diamonds, we're setting on 735. Emeralds, 313. Lapis, 13,000. Apatite, 14,000. And over here, by the way, I've got this set up. Basically, whenever my storage crate fills up over there with gems, I just use carry-on and pack it and switch it, you know, with this wooden storage crate. And then I just put it on top of the hopper, and then it feeds in the drawer controller. Hoppers can pump the items in, no problem, but item ducts just don't behave correctly in this pack at all. Even with small setups, like my cactus farm, and I know Gary and Nikki, I was over there earlier trying to help them, and they were having the same issue, and it would be just like item duct right here, connecting analog crafter to analog crafter, like no other connections, and still it just wouldn't work, you know. It's just, and I mean, it could be, you know, chest connecting chest, it still doesn't work. It's like the item ducts just don't behave. Like eventually they'll start working and then they'll stop randomly, and then they'll start working and then they'll stop randomly. So I'm ready to get away from that. So on that note, I want to ask you guys, if you've been on the channel for very long, you know that I absolutely hate refined storage. I cannot stand that mod. However, I have heard that in recent versions like 1.11, 1.12, versions of refined storage, a lot of the issues are fixed. I'm willing to give it a shot. If you guys think, you know, whatever you guys think, let me know down in the comments. It's not really going to be like a vote. It's just going to be kind of see where everybody's at and then make a educated decision kind of a thing, if you guys have a preference. I mean, if worse comes to worse, it has AE2 as well, so we could do refined storage. If we start having issues with that, we can wipe it and switch it all over to AE2. But I'm willing to give refined storage a shot. Even if it works, it's still not my favorite. I love AE2, but I'm willing to give it a shot for kind of a change of pace, because we tend to go AE2. But basically, I was planning on kind of taking my time through this section and getting into some immersive engineering, new multi-blocks and stuff like that, and not really rushing through very much. But I do think we are going to rush up to the point of having either refined storage or AE2. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be doing today, which is Silence Gems. Probably the entire episode Silence Gems, because we're going to be doing a bit with that mod. Mainly utility stuff. I don't know if we'll get into much armor and stuff like that, but I do want to start grading materials and whatnot. But anyways, the first thing that we're going to need to do before we do anything else is we're going to have to get Chaos production up and going. Okay, now there's 2 different Chaos nodes. There is the passive Chaos pylon. So I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to have a combination of passive and burner Chaos pylons, especially passive. I like passive. I don't know if it's been nerfed in recent versions, but in the past, you know, Sprout, of course, was my first time playing with Silence Gems, and passive kept up decently well with burner Chaos pylons. I mean, burner Chaos pylons were like double, triple speed, but I would like to have a few of those for kind of burst chaos if we need it, but generally passive is going to keep your stuff running. But we'll kind of play it by ear and see how they perform. But basically it's just a bit of lapis, some obsidian, and chaos cores, which is enriched chaos essence, and blocks of quartz. Chaos, or enriched chaos essence, is chaos essence, glowstone, and redstone. Now quartz, I have 550 of it, so I think we're good on quartz. And of course chaos essence, I have a lot of that, so let me go ahead and grab I don't know, a couple stacks of this. And then we're also going to want redstone. I'll grab like a stack of that. And then we're also going to need glowstone and a bunch of gold today as well. Glowstone I do not have. It is, let's see, what's the ratios on that? I can't remember. I do have some stuff prepped for it. It's 3 and 3. Okay, so 3 vile dust, 3 blaze powder. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's get 2, 3 stacks of blaze powder. And then we'll pop over here, and I've got vile dust. I've had it smelting up, so there's 1, 2, 3 vile dust. And I'm going to go ahead and get some more soul sand cooking up because I still got 2 more stacks. This stuff's very easy to make, and then I just kind of have it smelting, and that way we've always got some on hand. 6 stacks of glowstone, so we'll be good for a bit on that. Alright, I'm just going to let that run and do the last 3 stacks for us. But we've got 3 stacks to work with, that's fine. And so let's take a look at our Enriched Chaos Essence. I'm going to go ahead and just make as much as I can. That's 16 pieces. Okay. Oh, I ran out of redstone. Okay. That's fine. 16 is good for now. And then let's go ahead and get ourselves... I'm just going to go ahead and get 16 of those. And we'll make, I guess, 4 chaos cores to start with. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a stack of lapis and a stack of obsidian. And we'll go ahead and just make 4 passive cores for the time being. We'll see how that fleshes out, and then if we need to upgrade it, we can. It's not really a big deal. So, passive chaos pylons. And I mean, you upgrade passive to, you know, the burning ones. So it's really no big deal to start with the passive ones. They do have a missing texture on the block, but once you place it, it's no longer missing. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with our passives right here. Okay, so they're going to start, you'll see every once in a while they'll send out a burst, and that's basically bursts of chaos. And stuff has to be in range of it. And you can see I've got chaos building up right down here above my hunger bar. And you'll notice now they've stopped sending chaos. Okay, because my chaos charge is built up now. Which we'll get into how you actually use that chaos on your person a little bit later on. But now that we've got that, the next thing that I want to do is I want to get a chaos altar. This takes Enriched Chaos Essence, diamonds, obsidian. Not a problem. Let me get... Well, I'll get another stack of redstone. And we'll get our Enriched Chaos Essence. Now, you can actually find nodes out in the world. Honestly, if we look out here, I know there's a bunch around my base that are just out in the world. You can set up next to those and get your chaos that way. Let me see. I know there's some down here by the bridge, for sure. Yeah, like off there in the distance. You can barely see it over there. I don't think there's any... I think there's some underneath the base, but they're hard to see. But anyways, those little nodes, they do the same thing. And you can actually move them. There's a node mover. I'm not sure what it takes to craft it in this pack. Right here, Chaos Node Mover. It requires Ender Frost. That takes Ender Essence, which you get from Ender Essence ore. As well as a Nether Shard, which takes Nether Stars. So you are going to have to get to the end and kill the Wither to make those. But eventually we will get those moved and have them in our weapons workshop room as well. That's kind of what I'm calling this room, because we're going to have all of our Tinker stuff as well as our Silence Gem stuff in this one little room here. So this is our weapon workshop. Is what it will be known as. But let's go ahead and pull this up, and we'll get our Chaos Altar. Oh, I'm missing redstone, of course. Okay, let's try this one more time. Chaos Altar. There we go. We will get one of these, and what we'll do is we'll just set it up right here. Okay, so now these are going to start sending bursts down to it. There we go. And this is going to start filling up. Now, it's going to take a little while, but this is good for charging up stuff. So we can charge up, like, anything that requires chaos. We can use it to charge, and we'll get into that in just a second, because we're going to be making something for that. And then I would also like to get a material grader. This thing requires 3 Enriched Chaos, a magnifying glass, which takes a bit of gold, and ornate gold rods. So let's go ahead and get those. I'm going to have to make a little bit of gold. But actually, I've got... Let's see, I don't think I have any... No. Let's see, I've got gold back here. 9. Yeah, I'm going to need to make more than that, so I'm just going to come over here and do it. I've been just pumping the dust. I haven't got that set up to a furnace. You know, I had mentioned I'm going to have to go get more wheat. Actually, I think I've got wheat over here. Yep, they changed all the recipes on me, so I've got to redo all of these pretty much, but that's fine. But anyways, I opted not to have the ores and stuff, these pulverized ores. I opted not to have them sent to an automatic smelting system, and that's simply due to the fact that the item conduits and stuff in this pack that we have access to at the moment. I think once we get into AE2 or Refined Storage or XNet or something like that, I think it would be a bit more effective, but item ducts just aren't. Transfer nodes work okay, just item ducts don't work. But for right now, I just kind of got them over there, and that way I can kind of just throw them in a smeltery or something. I was doing that earlier with bronze. You know, I need to make bronze, so I just grabbed the pulverized dust and threw it in there. You know, it's kind of like just something that's there that kind of builds up passively and semi-passively, and then I can just access it whenever I need that resource. And it's kind of like a nice surprise, because, like, you know, I needed a bunch of gold right now. Well, I've got a bit of pulverized gold. I can just access it. So it's kind of like a good surprise. But okay, but anyways, we should have... Let's go ahead and pull up gold rod. I need to make one of these. I'm going to need regular chaos essence, though. So our ornate gold rod, there we go. And then, let's see, material grader. Alright, so we need a magnifying glass. Actually, I'm fairly certain I have glass panes. Actually, it's very possible I'm thinking of Divine Journey. I get all my packs so mixed up. Right, so there we go. Magnifying glass. There we go. And then material grader. There we go. Okay, and then we'll just set this down like right... I'll put it right here. Oh wow, they've made it so this takes a while. Okay, let's make a burner. Pylon. And just see how it compares. So it's 2 blocks of redstone, 2 obsidian, a chaos core, a passive chaos pylon. There's everything. Okay, so our burner chaos pylon. Awesome. And let me go ahead and grab, like, a stack of charcoal. I mean, honestly, if these things are fast enough, it's not really a big deal because we've got plenty of furnace fuels. But I'm thinking we'll do kind of a combination of each one. By the way, this yellow bar that's filling up, that's an internal buffer, and it actually stores a ton of chaos. And then if you have something that needs charging or something like that, you can throw it into here, and it will use that internal buffer like fairly quickly. It'll go through it and charge stuff up. So what we'll do is we'll just open this up. This is the only one with the GUI, by the way. These don't have any. And we'll just pop our charcoal in there. It's going to start burning and producing chaos for us. And it seems like there's a substantial speed boost, like a reasonable amount. Yeah. Yeah, it's much faster. So honestly, upgrading all of these to burners, I'm not going to do it right this second because I don't want to burn through all of our chaos essence because, yeah, we had like 200, but we're going to go through it fairly quickly, starting Silence Gems up. But basically, I just wanted this up and going so that we could start scanning stuff to make better tools because we are definitely going to need it. But realistically, I'd rather have supercharged. So let me actually pull that out really quick. But if you look right here, there's a grade on this. This is a grade of D, okay? We'll get into this a bit more a little bit later on, but I want to explain why I'm making this. If you look at standard malachite and look at the stats on it, for example, attack speed is 130, melee damage is 4, magic damage is 2. You come over here and look at this, even though it's a D rank, which D rank is pretty bad, but attack speed has gone up by 5%, melee damage has gone up by 0.16, magic damage has went up by 0.08, and then our protection has went up by 0.56 on a D rank. Okay, and the ranks go E, D, C, B, A, S, double S, triple S. Okay, now S, double S, triple S are extremely rare. I think S is like 1 in, I don't know, 50 or something, you know, crazy like that. And then you have like the triple S, it's like 1 in 1,000 or some, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something crazy like that. Because I remember it came up when we were doing Sprout, unless it's been changed in 1.12, I don't know for sure, or in 1.11 or something like that. But anyways, then what we can do is we can actually supercharge these and make better malachite. And these we'll get into, this is how you make the really good stuff. Okay, like standard malachite has a base harvest of 8. Supercharge is 12. Okay, harvest level on Supercharge is 4, regular Malachite is 2, and so on. I mean, it's huge stat increases. Definitely worth making when you're at the point where you have Chaos to do so. And then if you can scan it, all the better, because even if you get a rank E, it's still better than an unscanned gem. Okay, and you can see this one's actually moving through this fairly quickly because its internal buffer is built up a bit. So I am going to be scanning all of my gems. That's why I wanted to go ahead and cover Supercharge briefly and the material grader. So, but I'm not going to make any equipment with it just yet because I'd rather get at least like A rank stuff. Oh! What? First Supercharged gem, Triple S. What is that luck? I'm going to play the lottery. Okay, for example, the Triple S. This is the highest rank that you can get, and that's crazy that we just got it. If you look at standard Supercharged Malachite, it's a base harvest of 12. This is 15.84 on Spade. It actually has a higher harvest level by 1. So where this only has a harvest level 4, this is a 5. Attack speed has jumped from 150% to 198%. Melee damage has jumped from 7 to 9.24. Magic damage from 5 to 6.6. Protection from 18 to 23.76. And then durability has jumped by like 300 and just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. That is super lucky too, because unless they've made those super easy to get, that is very difficult to obtain. Or very, not really difficult, but unlikely. So I'm definitely going to hold on to that, and we will be using that for probably a really crazy katana a little bit later on. Because the nice thing about Malachite is it is the highest attack speed. So you couple that with something that's like the highest damage on a katana, and you can do massive damage. Especially with a Triple S. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anyways, we've got scanning up and going. And this is just something, you know, I wanted to go ahead and get this started because it takes a little while to scan through all of those. Get fitting gems to make good equipment and stuff, so... and we've got our Chaos altar set up, and it's building up a bit of chaos. And we'll keep expanding this so we have faster chaos generation and stuff as time goes on. But anyways, the next thing that I want to make is I want to make our first chaos gem. Okay? And there's all these different gems, and it really doesn't matter which one you pick. It does not matter a bit. These all have the exact same stats. They can store 2 million shards. They have 20 slots. And their drain depends entirely on what runes you put onto it. So we're going to just pick one that we like. I'm going to go with, honestly, I think, Ametrine. And what we're going to need is 8 Enriched Chaos Essence and then a block of whatever gem you choose. So I've got Chaos on me. Okay. So let's get 9 Ametrine. And honestly, long term, we'll probably have a couple of these for different effects. I'm not going to worry too much about combat effects right now. And that's simply because we don't really fight a lot. When the time comes that we do go fight like Withers or Ender Dragons or something like that, we will definitely buff it up. But for right now, this will be fine. And let's get ourselves... I'm just going to go ahead and change all that over, honestly. Because we are definitely going to need it. And then we'll just surround that with Enriched Chaos, and there is our Chaos Ametrine. And you can see it's got a bobble belt slot option, which we'll get into that in just a second. So anyways, you'll notice the charge just went up. That's from my internal charge. Or no, maybe they're sending me. Yeah, maybe they're sending me stuff. I'm going to go hang out next to them and let this start charging up, because it will take a little bit. Now I could put it into here, and you'll notice the charge is going up at a decent rate. And those should stop sending me charge, because I can't accept. I have nothing on me that can accept charge. So what we can do is we can just leave it in here, and then once it gets done, it's going to go to the output slot of the Chaos Altar. So let's take a look at the different runes that are available. There is capacity and recharge. Capacity increases the amount of chaos that something can store. The recharge allows it to recharge chaos whenever you're not using it. Both of these are really useful. If you have extra slots available, because you'll notice these only use 1 slot, so they're very effective to put into your gems. We're definitely going to be putting some in there. There's also flight. It uses 10 chaos. And you'll notice it has a chaos cost of 80, so it's like 80 chaos, I think a tick or a second or something like that, while in use. There's also Spade, and you'll notice that some of these have max level, so if you can put up to 4 Spade runes on a single gem. I'm not going to put any on there. There's Haste, Jump Boost, Strength, Regeneration, Resistance, Fire Resistance, water breathing, night vision, invisibility, levitation, glowing, slowness, mining fatigue, nausea, blindness, hunger, weakness, poison, and wither. So, and you'll notice that these negative ones like blindness, nausea, hunger, they actually give you negative slots. So you can put more onto a single rune if you're willing to take some negative effects. So for example, you might want to put hunger on there if you have something that gives you, you know, endless food, you know. It could be worth it to get those extra 2 slots if you're trying to fit something on there. So, and then some things like glowing, for example, uses no slots. So it really just comes down to preference, kind of, how you want to set this up. Now, for me, for this first one that we're going to make, it's just going to be flight. That's all we're going to put on it, because I have no use for any of this other stuff when I'm just hanging out at the base. I'm not fighting anything. There's not really much use in the rest of that. So flight is 4 enriched chaos, 3 shiny plumes, and then some redstone. Shiny plumes are chaos essence plumes, which is any kind of gem with feathers. And then we're going to need a bit of gold. Honestly, a fair amount of gold. How much gold do I have? 18. Then I've got a little bit more over here, so I think we're good on gold. And then let me get some silence gems. We'll just take sapphire. Gonna need like 3 of these, and then a bunch of feathers. And so let's get our Chaos Rune of Flight. We're going to need 3 plumes. And then we are going to need shiny plumes. 3 of those. And then missing redstone. Down to 36 again. I just made a bunch of redstone. And then there is our Chaos Rune of Flight. Okay, so that's 10 slots used. And then what we can do is we can use 8 of them, to put 4 levels of capacity and recharge, which would be nice to have. Recharge requires chaos cores, and then enriched chaos, 8 enriched chaos each. Ooh. I may not be able to put as much on there as I was wanting. No, because I have 24 chaos essence. Okay. And I also wanted to look at this, but the perfect chaos orb requires a lot of stuff. Tell you what, we're going to use up all the chaos that we have. That's going to be the best that we can do. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. Instead of going for those, because I don't really have the chaos right now to bump this up with those upgrades right now. But what we can do is let's take a diamond, surround it with chaos, and we're going to get a fragile chaos orb. Now you'll notice that it has a max break chance of 20%. Basically, this allows you to store chaos, as it says. Just like, you know, a capacitor, like a portable capacitor or something would with energy. And the break chance is a chance that whenever it's drained on low charge, that it can break. Okay? So 20% is the maximum point that a fragile chaos orb can break. So once the energy in that reaches 20% or lower, there's a chance whenever you use it that it's going to break the chaos orb. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take that, and then we're going to go ahead and upgrade it. There's also a chaos potato. It only stores 5,000, but it has a break chance of 1%. So it's a very low break chance, but it doesn't store a whole lot of energy. But we're going to go ahead and upgrade to the refined chaos orb. You'll notice it jumps from 100,000 to 1,000,000 chaos storage, and the break chance is only 5%. Now there is a perfect one as well that cannot break. It stores 10 million, but it takes that crystallized chaos essence, which is pretty expensive. So, but anyways, to make our refined chaos, we're going to need 1 more of these. Man, that 200 chaos just flew through. And then we can upgrade this to our refined chaos orb. And it's got our 40,000 that we had in our last one already in there. So, let's see, that's not filled yet. Let's go ahead and pull that out. We're going to put that in there for right now. And then what we can do is we can take our Chaos Amatrain and just put it in the crafting grid with our Chaos Rune for Flight. And you'll see that now it has Flight on this Chaos Amatrain, and half of its slots are used. Okay? So we'll go ahead and pull that off, and then we can just pop it into our bauble slot for belts. Let's say toggle Chaos Gem. Let me go ahead and switch this. We'll do... I'm going to do add, so it's on my Naga. Okay, so now what we can do is let's go outside. Okay. And if I toggle this on, there we go. I can fly. And you'll notice that whenever it's toggled on, it kind of glows. And it's draining chaos out of this. Okay. Now you can also keep it on your hotbar. That works as well. And you can toggle it on and off there. And one nice benefit of that is that... Whoa. One nice benefit of that is that you can, of course, see the charge and stuff. You know, in real time on your hotbar and stuff. So, we do have flight, which is nice. I've got to get these towers built. I've been waiting until I had flight for a lot of this stuff because it'll just make it so much easier. And now I can kind of like fly under my base and do work, move cables and all that stuff around. So it is going to be super handy. Super handy. Alright, let's go ahead and pull this out now. Or actually I'm going to let it build up just a little bit more, so I'll be back in just a second once that has a chance to build up. Okay, just a heads up, I did go ahead and craft the Silent Gem manual. It's just a book and any gem to make that. And I was reading through that a little bit, and I can't remember if it was this way before or if they changed it, but if something has multiple levels, like for example resistance, it takes 6 slots, right? Well, it's 6 slots for the first rank, but then only 1 for the second rank. Okay, so anything with levels, if you add additional runes to it, it's just 1 additional slot per level after the first level. So just a heads up on that. I wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. Also, I took this off of my bauble slot because it wasn't activating all the time. And it activates 100% of the time if I have it on my hotbar. So I just switched over to that. But with the refined Chaos Orb, what we can do is if we come out here, for example, and we start flying around, you'll notice that this is draining, but it's staying at about 1,999,000. That's because it's pulling mana from this refined Chaos Orb. So that's almost like a capacitor in that it can feed anything that requires chaos. It'll feed that chaos and keep it charged from its buffer. So it's kind of just like an extra battery that you can have on you. And then a couple things that I would like to make just to make life a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and get... let me grab all of this fluffy puff. I'm going to go ahead and make some fluffy puff fabric. You can also do this with, I think, leather. But I'd rather use this fluffy puff fabric. It's a little bit cheaper than leather at the moment. Since I haven't actually started, like, really farming animals just yet. And we'll get 1 more fluffy puff fabric. And I can't remember, does this protect me from fall damage? Nope. That's fine. Okay. So if we get 6 fluffy puff fabric or like 6 leather, I think it is. And then we're going to get any gem. I'm going to take sapphire. That's fine. The nether ones I have a decent amount of, but the stone ones I have a bunch. And we'll just lay this out like that. Here we are going to get a torch bandolier. And this thing is one of the most amazing blocks ever. Now you'll notice right now it has autofill on. Let me go ahead and shift right click and we'll set autofill to off on this. And let's get ourselves, let me actually grab like a stack of sticks. And we'll go ahead and get 4 stacks of torches. Then what I can do is I can just shift right click and turn autofill back to on. And you'll notice this just took all the torches into it. We now have 256 torches. And then what I can do is I can just use this and right click to place torches. And if I pick them up, they go straight into the torch bandolier. So now I can carry 1,024 torches on me at all times. It's really helpful, you know, building out and stuff like that. I will say the base isn't going to be torches too much longer, but for right now, lighting, that works out well. And I'd like to make some armor, but I want to make super armor lattice, which takes Enriched Chaos. I don't have the materials for that right now. But let's really quickly get into teleporters, okay? Now within Silent Gems, there's a few different types of teleporters. There are teleporter anchors, which basically is where a teleporter connects to, but they can't be used to teleport from, okay? You also have just standard teleporters. These are, you know, these teleport you to a location. You can use these, and we'll get into teleporters and how to link them and stuff a little bit later on. Today I just want to get a basic thing set up. And then there's also Redstone Teleporters, which work with redstone, and they can teleport entities and items and stuff like that. But today we're just going to be making a teleporter anchor, just 4 chaos essence, 2 ender pearls, and a block of iron. Let me grab that stuff real quick. So teleporter anchors, there we go, and we get 4 per craft. They're super, super cheap. And then what I would like to make is a return home charm. We're going to go with, we'll go with this one that takes the onyx. So we're going to need a fragile Chaos Orb, which means we're going to be just about out of chaos. Then we're also going to need gilded string. This does craft 3 at a time, so 1 craft is enough. So let me get 3 gold ingots. I'm going to go ahead and break one down into nuggets. And then I'm going to want any kind of gem. I'm going to go with onyx. And then we're going to need a diamond and 8 chaos essence. So gilded string, there we go. And then fragile chaos orb, there we go. And then our return home charm, there we go. Alright, and this is going to start getting charged. Is it charging? It's not charging for my chaos orb. Okay, it is draining. It's just really slow. But it is steadily draining, so. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to take our teleporter anchor, and for this, for the return home, let's see, where do we want to put this? I'll tell you what, we're going to have it teleport us down to here. So we're going to break this off. We'll put our teleporter anchor right there, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to right click this, and it says bound to teleporter, and then what we can do is we can just hold this until it starts glowing, and it warps us back at the cost of a little bit of chaos. And I believe the chaos increases, the chaos cost increases based on the distance that you are from that point. But it's just kind of nice if I'm down here doing work, like especially working on the bridge, for example, because that's 1,000 blocks I've got to travel. I can just warp back. Now there is the island home command, but my island home is like right down here. So it doesn't work out as well for me since I've got that way down there. So, and I would like to put Spade on this, but it takes so much sugar and enriched chaos essence. I'm going to wait on that until we get sugar production up and going. They removed the ability to do it with rice, it looks like, but we can do it with beets once we get a presser, but that takes pistons, so we're still a little ways off from that. Okay, now a couple small things that I want to touch on. Since we've kind of come out of Silence Gems, I'm kind of just waiting on Chaos at this point. I did, while I was editing some footage, I did scan a couple more gems, a couple Onyx gems, and I got 2 grade A Onyx gems. So you can see right here, 2 of those. They do stack. I mean, A is A regardless, you know, it's the same stats. There's no fluctuation or anything like that. But anyways, a couple things that I would like to get into today. Just very, very minor things that I would like to at least kind of get started with. Is first up, let me get our pipette. And let me actually change this recipe here to that. And I'm going to grab that seed oil. Let's go ahead and move it over. And let me turn off that redstone signal. Okay, so it's going to start making us an impregnated casing, which is what I would like to get. And there we go, there's one of those. So let's go ahead and pull that out, and then I would like to upgrade it into a bee attractor. This is a Sky Resources thing. This is how we get our first bees. Now I know in the book it suggests like bees is a bit later into the pack when they talk about starting it, but bees are something I'd rather go ahead and get started with if at all possible. So, which I don't think that there's anything that would hold us back. I think bee houses and stuff are still craftable. We'll go ahead and get like 3 bronze casings, because bee breeding is something that takes a while, and if we can get started now, all the better. So let's do this, and let's get let's actually get 1 more impregnated casing. So there we go, and then let's see, the apiary is just slabs and planks. Might as well go ahead and craft both of these things. So planks like that, and then some slabs, and then our impregnated casing. Oh wait, that's not even made in here, my bad. Whoops. I know that the the bee house, or the bee attractor is like that, so we'll go ahead and get that running. And then we're going to need that. Okay, there's our bee attractor. And then our apiary, we'll go ahead and make that. Get one more. Those. There we go. Alright, so the bee attractor, what we can do is we can set this up. And I believe this can be set up anywhere. I don't think it has to be outside necessarily. So if we put that down, you can see it's building up on power. And then we're going to need to give it just a little bit of seed oil here. So let me see. Let's give it a bit of that. There we go. You can see we've already got attuned drones, wintry drones, unusual, attuned. And let me go ahead and grab one of these storage crates. And we'll just take this outside and we'll get this set up. So our bees for right now, we'll just set them up right here. Apiary. And let's see, we've got an unusual princess and a wintry princess. Let's go with unusual, and we'll do like attuned. Not bright enough, no flowers, not daytime. Okay, yeah, that's just all. Speaking of, let's get a bed. It's about time we get ourselves a bed. Magical planks and wool, and magical planks is just magical wood. Magical wood is just gold. So, not too hard to make. Let me go get the stuff for that. So there's 3 books, and then let me get a little bit more planks. Dark oak bookshelf, gold. And there's our magical wood, and then we can just get our magical planks. There we go. There we go, and there's our bed. And for right now, we'll just put this like... We'll put it right here. And then we can sleep. And we got the Sweet Dreams achievement. So now what I would like to do is... Let's go check on our bees. I am going to need some flowers. I can't remember exactly what unusual takes by default. Of course, these bees, they could be different, but... we'll just try these out real quick. Okay, so they are running. Our bee is running now. And I'll go ahead and add a few more flowers for good measure. And I'm just going to dump all of our bee stuff into there. So I'm going to get that running. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on bees, like, you know, on camera, because I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world for most people. But I would at least like to get those running, because we can't get a resonator until we get refractory wax. And the resonator we could start doing red coal with. We could start making speed upgrades for things. We could do, you know, a variety of things with that. And one other thing I would like to get this episode is I would like to get the atomic reconstructor, right? It's going to take 6 steel. It's going to take a lens, which is mana lens and impregnated sticks, a resonating redstone crystal, and an iron casing, which is a sturdy casing, which is a wood casing. Which I think most of this stuff we've got. Let's get some sticks here. And we'll go ahead and get the wood casing. I've actually got bronze in the smeltery, like a decent amount of it, so making the parts for this... Oh yeah, I need 2 ingots. Real quick, let me get that. How much bronze do I have left in here anyway? It's 2 blocks, okay. I made all this with... it was actually before the episode even. But I just threw in a bunch of that stuff from the Cobbleworks into there. And there you go. It was pretty simple. Okay, then we need 4 iron plates, which I already have those running, and then 2 black quartz, 2 impregnated sticks, which I've got 8 impregnated sticks, and then we're also going to need, for the lens, we need 8. Okay, so I'm going to have to get some more of those running. That's fine. I'm going to want more seeds. Let me get some more seeds for seed oil. Can I use rice seeds by chance for that? I know I can use... Yes, I can do that. Okay. Are those standard? They're 10 millibuckets. I think my industrial hemp, I was thinking it was 20, because that's what I was running before. But I'm pretty well out of industrial hemp. But I'd like to go ahead and get this set up. That way we'll be able to move into the next episode a bit smoother. Because moving forward, we're going to be working on basically all the mods that we've been working on. Because it's kind of like a, you know, a build-up process, and you continue working on those things. Like we will be working a bit on Botania here and there, bees here and there, actually additions here and there, and then we'll be starting like evil crafting, calculator, and all that stuff as well. as time goes on. But let's go ahead and get these seeds going. Just throw them into there. Turn off that redstone. Let me set this recipe back. I used up so much seed oil getting those bees going. I didn't realize it was going to take that much. It's not terrible. It's fine. But anyways, there's our iron casing. And then we just need the rest of the stuff. Which actually, I think, since I didn't grab those two, I think I've got 8 over here, right? Impregnated sticks. The mana lens is no issue. I've got glass panes. Let me get like 4 iron. So we've got pretty much everything that we need at this point. I've just got to go turn this stuff over, and I've got some charcoal blocks. I'm going to drop these off. I've been kind of dropping these off ever so often when I come through here. We've got, these are about halfway to a 4th on each one, so not terrible. Then we'll go ahead and get our mana steel, and then we can get, I think, pretty much everything that we need, right? There's mana lens, impregnated sticks, there's a lens, and then our atomic reconstructor. Okay, so there's that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up kind of a little semi-automatic system thing. Is there a mob somewhere? A zombie. He's probably like between a wall or something. Yeah, actually I bet he's right back here. Yeah, I knew it. Okay. And by the way, I don't know, I didn't mention it, I don't think, but all the, or at least most of the metals, the recipes have been changed. Like, iron now takes zombie jerky, and I don't know how much we'll touch on those as the series progresses, because we're with our ore processing system going, we're getting a lot of our metals that way, like a lot of our offshoot type metals. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the atomic reconstructor setting right here, and then we'll do our block down right there, pressure plate, and then let me get something to set right here. So we'll put onyx speckled brick right there, onyx speckled brick right here, and then later on we'll add like a vacuum system or something like that, but I don't really feel like I need that right this second. So we'll put our quick dropper right there, and that's pretty well done. So then all we have to do, if we want to make, let's say Restonia, for example, let me go get some redstone. And I'm fairly certain we're going to have to turn our attention towards power fairly soon, because I know the power was buffed up on the Reconstructor, and I know it was really buffed up on the Empower. Like it's like 50 million per craft or something like that. But for example, if we throw some redstone on there, is it not going to drop because of the pressure plate? That's fine. And then what we can do is drop the redstone in there, and there we go. Redstonia. Palace. And it only works on the pulse, so when the stuff first hits... Ooh, can we not make... Oh, it takes flawless diamonds from calculator to make diamantine. Interesting. And then what about void? Or Inori, I mean. That crafts. Okay. And then there's still like void, which is coal and so on. I'll grab a little bit of that. From the coke ovens. There we go. There's void. So, anyways, we can start kind of getting into actually additions now, but I will say our time with actually additions is going to be very, very brief before we move over to a different mod, because empowering we can't do yet. We can make the empower, I think, but we just can't do anything with it at the, at the current moment. So, all right. But I think with that, I am going to end out this episode here. Next episode, we will continue on with our, our current little projects and stuff. Continue working through some stuff. I don't know if we'll start... I'm not for sure which mods we'll be messing with next episode. I will say that we'll probably get into just a little bit of Britannia, get our runic altar set up. It's going to be very, very brief. And then we'll probably look at where we're at on bees. I'm just going to do a little bit of basic breeding, see what I can get going with that. Impregnated sticks. I may make some impregnated frames, because you got a lot less genetic decay and a bit more production with that. And impregnated frames are fairly easy to make. So there we go. There's an impregnated frame We get 2 times on production and 0.4 times on genetic decay. Of course, these do have a durability, but that's fine. That's a-okay. And each apiary has slots for, you know, 3 frames. So, I will probably keep it filled with these impregnated frames, because they're not too difficult to make. I do need to get on farming to build up a bit more seeds, because I run through seeds like crazy fast making that seed oil. So there we go, and we did get an attuned princess. Oh, I need to get like cashews started, because they produce a lot of seed oil, like 15 times what normal seeds do. So I'll tell you what, one other thing that I want to do really quick before we end out the episode is I want to get a market from Pam's Harvest Crafts, just wool, planks, and an emerald. It's super cheap and super useful. Let me get... Alright, so market. So happy that we can get it in this pack, because a lot of the packs I played lately, it's been banned. So, I do hate looking through this thing because you can't search, but... Alright, cashew sapling, that's what I want. We'll go ahead and buy. There we go. We got ourselves a cashew sapling. Let me get some plant matter. And for right now, I'm going to put this down, like, right here. We'll be fine. And there we go. So we can get cashews now. And cashews give a ton of seed oil. Like an absolute ton. It's like 150 millibuckets. So way better than seeds, which give 10, you know. So no seed oil in there at the moment. It's going to run through that cashew. And we actually got like, I think, 4 plants on that one. And there's 150 seed oil. So that's like a craft and a half off of a single cashew. And I can grow those with plant matter, so for our impregnated sticks, because we're going to be needing a lot of those with bees, so that will be good. Okay, and I want to give you guys a heads up, because it's like right after the end of the episode, because it's right after where I ended the episode. But I bred that unusual queen that we got with a wintry drone. And by the way, if you don't know, you can look in, you can hit U on these and see what all the breeds are. And I got a common, and there's a common drone, and I bred it with, I think, an unusual, I can't remember, but common drone, unusual princess, and got a common princess and a cultivated drone. So I'd like to get a cultivated princess. That's what I'm going to aim for, because I want to go for sinister. Because I'd like to go for this right here, cultivated princess, modest drone, I think, or a tropical drone. Because I would like to get... Sinister is kind of the one I'm aiming for right now, and that's because it gives simmering combs, which is how we get our refractory wax. So I'm going to try to get that by next episode. We'll see how that goes. Plus we get phosphor from that, which is useful for making lava. I mean, 2 phosphor and sand makes 2 buckets of lava. Be a good change for our lava system. But I think for right now I'm going to breed the common and cultivated together, because that will give me, what is it, noble and diligent chances. So, plus I'll have a chance to get a cultivated drone. So, I don't know if the bee attractor can give noble, or I mean pristine stock or not, because all I've gotten so far is ignoble. I did run it a couple more times and gotten a few more bees from that. But it seems to be all pretty much the same thing, like attuned, unusual, and wintry. I almost think it depends on your biome, because we're in extreme hills, it's cold. Yeah, it's too cold for these. Well, I'll tell you what I can do, though, if that happens. So let me grab this. Yeah, like right here is a plains biome, like not too far from our house. So what I'm probably going to do is just set up the bees, like, is this still plains? Yes. Where does plains even start? Okay, it's like right in here. So what I'm going to do is just build a little area here. It's actually kind of nice having plains this close to our house, because plains is like one of those biomes that are great for bee breeding in a lot of cases. So we have a cold biome and a little bit more of a warmer biome. No flowers, not daytime. Okay. So there we go, and then I can just warp back and sleep. And I can just kind of bounce between You know, if I need a colder area, colder climate, I can pop back up here. And then what I'll probably do is just kind of chunk load this area here. Of course, I'm like right on the border of like everything. That's fine. I'm not loading very many chunks, so... Well, I'll just do that. So, anyways, our common queen is now running. Oh, let me put my frame in there. So, and that way we can kind of get our bees up and going, because going for that that simmering comb pretty quickly is going to be very, very useful. That refractory wax and that phosphor. I mean, the phosphor I could live without, but it wouldn't be bad to have it, because I would like to do a bit of resource gathering with our bees. So, okay, so I'm going to end out the episode here. Next episode we will probably touch lightly on tree breeding. Like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on camera with the forestry stuff, but I do want to get into tree breeding right now as well, so that we can start getting some of that wood to use for building. Now, I will say that Environmental Tech has added that botanical miner, like void miner, which can actually get all the different forestry wood. So if you're not into the breeding, you can get it that way a little bit later in the pack. But I do still want, I think I want to do a little bit of tree breeding and stuff, because it's fun. That's probably my favorite part of forestry, honestly. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and if you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay up to date with when new videos come out. I hope to see you guys next time. We'll be working on a mixed match of things, probably. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.